part of being human and a part of being and becoming a better human and a better person is the ability to reflect on yourself, the ability to reflect on your thinking, your actions, your emotions. You know, if you feel something, if you react a certain way to certain stimulus, or if you react a certain way to things that people do to you or things that you experience, why do you react that way? Well, if you think about things a certain way, why do you think about things that way? Why do you think about yourself, how you think about yourself? What makes you who you are? And why do those things make you who you are? These are all things, unfortunately, that the vast majority of people don't think about. Like your coworkers. How many of your coworkers have shitty lives? How many of your coworkers hate themselves? How many of your coworkers go home after the shift and they just sit and think about how much they hate their lives and they hate themselves? Probably a lot. But the thing is with these people is that for the most part, they're not going to change. And I think that's sad. But the reason these people aren't actually going to change is because they don't reflect. They have no introspective ability. And introspection is the key to growth. I used to be a very not good person in a lot of ways. Morally, emotionally, my ability to maintain relationships, my ability to maintain and function in my own life. It was very poor. And I would beat myself up about it. I would wonder why my life sucked, wonder why people in my life didn't like me. I'd wonder why my relationships weren't working. I would wonder why I would have so many negative feelings about myself, about the people around me, about the world. And it all came from introspection, you know? When I was younger, I had a very rough childhood, a very rough upbringing, very rough early years. And that led to me being traumatized. I still struggle with PTSD, or I guess you would call it CPTSD, complex post-traumatic stress disorder. And as an example, when I was a lot younger, around 18 or 19, 20, I didn't like to be touched by people at all. I didn't like hugs. I didn't like people tapping me on the shoulder. You know, like if you even like touched me, I would get very I was a very jumpy person. I was very flinchy. And that was because I went through a lot of violence growing up. I went through a lot of physical confrontations and stuff like that. So I had an aversion to being touched, and it was to the point where in my first relationship, as an example, I would be taking a nap or something, and you know, maybe I had to get up and do something, and I would be asleep, and my girlfriend at the time would wake me up. She'd be like, hey Varro, you have to go to the store. You know, it's 2:00. You have to go to the store, or you have to go turn in this form, or you know, whatever. I had to do something, and you know, I would be asleep, and she'd wake me up. She'd nudge me, and every single time I would be like I had really bad sleep terrors. I was like extremely reactive, extremely jumpy, and it's obviously not a good thing. But I changed. I'm not like that anymore. And the reason I managed to overcome that is because I reflected on it. I was like, why do I dislike being touched so much? Why am I so jumpy? Why is it when people touch me or wake me up or get physical in any capacity, why do I have an instant knee-jerk reaction into aggression, fear, anxiety? And I thought about it, and you know, I was like, well, it's because when I was a child, XYZ things happened to me. When I was a young adult, XYZ things happened to me. When I was a teenager, XYZ things happened to me. And I was like, okay, so because these things happened to me, led to me forming trauma. And, you know, I was like, why did these things cause trauma? Why does being touched make me aggressive? And then, you know, like I said, I thought about those things, and I was like, well, you know, it's because, as an example, when I was in school, I was viciously bullied for a long time. And as an example, I was like, you know, why is it when you wake me up from sleeping, why do I immediately get aggressive? And I pinpointed a specific event. I was in school, and you know, sometimes I would fall asleep, you know, or tired. Class is boring as fuck. You don't want to be in there, and you fall asleep. And I was woken up because my classmates were fucking with me. They were bullying me. So, of course, obviously, I'm immediately startled. I'm immediately upset, immediately aggroed. And I was like, okay, wow. And then I was like, why does that aggro me? Well, because I'm being harassed. I'm being bullied. That's not good. Why does that make me feel anxious? Because I don't like it. Because obviously no one wants to be bullied. No one wants to be attacked. No one wants to be harassed. And I was like, okay, so why am I still responding in the present why am I responding presently as though I was in the past, as though I was actively being bullied when I'm not, when I'm in a safe environment with people I trust? And I was like, well, it's because of my trauma. And, I had to cognitively sit there and I had to process everything that happened to me. And I was like, I had to break it down for myself. I had to be like, look, I'm not that person anymore. It's actually to the point now where I'm not bragging. I'm not humble bragging. It's not a good thing. But people are intimidated by me. People have told me they're afraid of me, or that, I'm intimidating, especially strangers. And it's odd to me because I'm still a pretty anxious guy. I'm a very paranoid individual, actually. And genuinely at night, when I'm on a night walk and I'm walking and I see someone, down the distance on the sidewalk, immediately I get a little anxious. I get a little on edge. I'm like, hey, there's someone approaching me. It's dark. They're a stranger. I can only see a silhouette. What if they attack me? What if they want to hurt me? What if they want to rob me? And I tend to cross the street. But there's so many times, even in broad daylight, people cross the street because of me. And it's just so odd to me to be the object of fear rather than the one fearing. And it's something I think about often. Anyways, back to the original point, introspection. The reason people don't change or progress in their life or change things in their life for the positive is because they lack an ability to introspect. They lack an ability to be introspective. My grammar might be wrong. It's been a long day. But if you don't have any ability to reflect on yourself, on your decisions, on your feelings, on your emotions, on the things you believe, you can't change those things. You can't change your beliefs if you don't know why you believe them, because everything has a reason. So I think that's sad. I think it's very sad that we live in a world where people stagnate. People are not only complacent, but they're actively deteriorating. Their soul, their personality, their livelihood is actively degrading and being degraded. And the sole reason I believe that happens is because they lack an ability to reflect. And I think that's sad. It's one of the markers of being able to distinguish if something's conscious is, can it think about itself? Can a dog look in the mirror and know that it's looking at itself? Know that it's what's being reflected in that mirror? I find this fascinating. If you guys know about Alex the Gray Parrot, he is a great example. If you don't know about Alex the Gray Parrot was he's a gray parrot, or was a gray parrot. I think he passed. But something that makes Alex the Gray Parrot particularly unique is researchers taught Alex how to communicate. They taught him a lot of English, a lot of language, and he was, I believe they used him as a hallmark, as one of the most intelligent animals. But something specifically remarkable that Alex the Gray Parrot did while he was alive is he looked in the mirror. He was looking in the mirror, and he asked the researcher, "What color am I?" I think that's fascinating. And he found out he was gray, and he would say, "I'm gray." It might not be exactly like that, but that's essentially the gist of it. He was able to, request certain things. He was able to ask to be petted, or ask for certain foods, or ask for certain tools or toys. And, I think it's strange that some people are so low functioning on a level of intelligence that they can't do something a bird could do. It's strange. It's strange. We live in a world of billions of souls, billions of people. And, you know, excuse me if I'm being edgy, but billions of these people there are billions of people that are probably less intelligent than Alex the gray parrot. I think that's sad. I think that's pathetic, and I think that's disappointing. Because as humans, we are supposed to be essentially the pinnacle of conscious life, at least on Earth. You know, it's like if you're religious, they say mankind was created in the image of God. So if God is perfect, we are supposed to be as close to perfection as possible. But as you can see, we are so very far from that. And you know, that's something I think about a lot, and hence the video. I wanted to share what I thought about this. If you'll give me a moment, I want to add more, but I need to think about what I want to add. Honestly, that's pretty much it, I would suppose. But it's important to reflect. It's very important to reflect. It's one of the most important things that you can do as a person, especially when it comes to growth, when it comes to spiritual growth, emotional growth, mental growth, intelligence, becoming more intelligent. If you feel something about someone, something, a place, anything, ask yourself why. I think there's a, what is it called? The 5 W's and H or something. Who, what, when, where, why, how. If you're ever in doubt about something or something troubles you, question it, break it down, ask why until there's no more why to be asked, or until you can't answer the question anymore. And if you can do that, and if you can apply that to yourself and apply that to problems or situations that you experience in life, you'll go a lot further than you would go otherwise. That's it for the video, guys. Let me know what you think, please. Drop a comment. Please like the video. Please subscribe. You know, stay tuned for more content. If you like this, it'll help my algorithm, and it'll help me. It'll help my channel. So I would appreciate that. You know. So there's a piece on my mind. Until next time.